Growing Up Nightclub. Chapter 9. Fight.
Not everything about running nightclubs is fun and glitzy. Quite the contrary, actually. I put in 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week in order to make the magic happen for 5 hours at night. Everything in both clubs needed to cleaned, stocked, and ready to throw another epic party after the night before. Plus, all of the bookkeeping, payroll, scheduling, inventory, and paperwork. Even when I was off work on Sundays and Mondays, I was either meeting with Dad and Virginia at the lake house or thinking about things that could be done to promote the clubs to keep people coming through the door. I brainstormed an idea that we called Drink and Drown on Thursday nights at Waves. Because it was a college town, we let people in age 18 and up. We would mark the people who were over 21 with a wristband and put a big black X with a permanent marker on the hand of anyone who was under 21. So the bartenders would know who they could serve alcohol to. Everyone paid $5 at the door, and from 9 until 11, all well drinks and draft beer was free. The idea was a huge success, and Thursday nights became absolutely crazy at Waves. It was a matter of getting as many people through the front door as fast as possible in those 2 hours, paying $5 each, whether they were 21 or not. That is where we made our money. The bartenders dreaded those 2 hours, but man, did they make a ton of money in tips. We had people lined up down the sidewalk waiting to get in before we opened. It was a typical Thursday night with all hands on deck. Waves was packed to the gills. People were stacked 5 or 6 deep around both bars, and you could not get another person on the dance floor. The DJ had the sound system cranking wide open and had the crowd going wild. All was going well until suddenly I saw the big red siren light come on above the main bar, which was either controlled by the DJ from his vantage point or by the bartenders via a switch behind the bar, signaling to the bouncers that there was a fight. I grabbed my mag light and immediately started pushing my way through the crowd toward a lunging pile of people in front of the main bar. 2 of my bouncers got to the scene a few seconds before I did. Now, 9 out of 10 times we could cool down the situation once we arrived, but this time was that dreaded one time when that wasn't the case. 4 or 5 of our regular customers had this huge guy who I had seen in the club before pinned against the wall. I heard one of my bouncers yelling, "Break it up! Break it up!" as he pushed a couple people holding the guy to one side. As soon as the guy's arm broke free, he punched my bouncer square in the face. I could hear the smack over the music from 10 feet away. Then all hell broke loose. The second bouncer took a swing at the guy and cracked his nose wide open. When he realized blood was pouring from his face, he went berserk. Unexpectedly, he let out a chilling roar and charged full steam forward into the crowd that was in front of the main bar. 40 or 50 people fell over one another as he landed on top of them. I ran up behind him and swung my maglite as hard as I could against the back of his skull. I shit my pants for a split second, thinking I just killed this dude, but to my surprise, he stumbled up to his feet and took a staggering swing at me. I tripped over someone while moving backward to dodge his punch and landed on the floor. Suddenly, a third bouncer ran up behind him and tackled him, both of them landing right on top of me. I was pinned to the floor with this crazed meathead bleeding all over me. Once again, the guy lets out another screaming roar and pushes himself up with my bouncer still on his back. I thought I was a goner as I watched, in what seemed like slow motion, his fist closed while coming down to hit me with the full force of his weight. I was ready to move my head so he would miss my face as he was coming down to hit me, when out of nowhere, wham! The guy's neck snapped backward and blood went flying everywhere as the first bouncer who got hit connected squarely with his face once again. The guy stumbled backward, then all 3 of my bouncers tackled him to the ground, turned him face down and locked his arms behind his back. He was screaming in rage, "I'm going to kill you, motherfuckers!" when 3 uniformed city cops I knew finally showed up. "Get this piece of shit out of here," I commanded the cops as I gasped for breath while standing over the guy with my mag light while my bouncers continued to smash his bloody face into the floor. They arrested the guy and took him away. The crowd cheered as the cops were walking him out of the club. After things settled down, I checked on everybody to make sure they were okay. Other than some bumps and bruises, the only serious injury was the bouncer who first got hit in the face. I ended up taking him to the emergency room to get his broken nose straightened back out, and wouldn't you know it, The guy who caused all of this was in there too. I found out later that the whole thing started because the meathead kept aggressively hitting on one of my regular customers' girlfriend. The things we do for love.
End of Chapter 9. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you don't miss a chapter. Also, hit like and subscribe to help grow this channel.